Hi, it's Marah BB on Marah Connect News Texts. I'm going to just talk on China here for 5 minutes in the Kimberley region of Australia. I'm going to talk about, especially in Kununurra, Western Australia. In Kununurra, we have a total control of China ownership, and we don't hear this in the streets of Kununurra. We don't hear it in the banks. We don't hear it in the businesses. Most businesses in Kununurra are all Anglo-Saxon and indigenous, but Kununurra being owned by China is, I think it's been in 2013 sometime they took over, 14 or something, and China now owns and controls the Kimberley, and I'm asking, what about our young kids in this part of the region of Kununurra? Because the kids are now juveniles, they've been in detention. There's no other place to go except detention. Holsbury as well, kids from there as well. And Kununurra has been having a lot of trouble with kids in the streets, kids in and out of the prison system, poverty, homelessness. This is all in Kununurra, Western Australia. And I was wondering if any other places face this kind of persecution by China as well. I've got Chinese friends, but I like to just announce that China should have had a wide view on Kununurra and the ownership of Kununurra, and they should have set up a community or committee to be part of it, because China owns Kununurra, and I feel like an indigenous Australian, a Jewish person as well. I believe, I don't find Kununurra as my home anymore, and this is what I'm hearing from old people, and I'm hearing from young people as well, saying just, no, China owns everything. China owns the stations, part of this part of the region as well, and it's a really rotten deal by China, and whoever made this deal is horrible. And when you look at China now, China controls this part of the region of the Kimberley. They fly in and out with a jet plane and all that, with a private jet, and they throw their little weight around, But it's a silent, China, is it a silent ownership of the Kimberley, Australia? I reckon it is. I reckon it's a silent ownership, because when you look at China now, nobody mentions China in the Kimberley, Australia, but they mention it in Solomon Island, they mention it in Taiwan, Hong Kong, America, but never Kimberley, Australia. And we are in the Kimberley, Australia, where China has been on a threat to Aussies and indigenous Australia and other people, minorities that are in Australia. Well, you can see now China owns Kimberley, I believe. Even so, it's a silent ownership of the Kimberley, Australia. China owns it outright, but in a silent ownership. And that's terrible. That's terrible, because everybody's pretending walking around town and in Kununurra and saying, we're indigenous, we own Kununurra, we love Kununurra, we're indigenous, we have part ownership in this Kununurra as indigenous people, and we, on and on and on and on. And it's really sad, because really China is a silent ownership of the Kimberley, Australia, Kununurra? I reckon it is. It is a silent ownership of Kununurra, and a lot of people in Kununurra now have Gadia's white people has abandoned Kununurra and left, and soon we're gonna have every white people probably leave, and the business people as well, and we're gonna have Kununurra to the indigenous people. What do indigenous people think of that? What do you want to manage Kununurra as an indigenous? But you know what? China's going to be here, and they'll be voicing their opinion. This is where indigenous people got to come in. They got to come in with China. China and the indigenous people will be probably running the Kimberley and Australia, or Kununurra as it is. And I hope everybody know this, that China is here for the business. And please, don't be a silent waiter. Please, let's deal with it openly and come to the Lord and bring it on the table, that we all want to deal with Kununurra. But maybe it's too late. It's just my voice. I hope you like my little word I'm said today. And you can catch me always on Marah Connect Texts, news, Australia-wide, worldwide. Thank you.